A lonely battlefield floated in the endless dark of space. Broken ships drifted like corpses, their metal twisted, their lights dead. The silence was heavy, broken only by the faint crackle of burning wrecks. Among the ruins, a single pod blinked weakly, its beacon flickering like the heartbeat of a dying soul. Inside the pod was a young alien girl, her skin pale blue, her eyes wide with fear. She pressed her hand to the glass, whispering in her broken voice, "Please, someone, anyone." She had lost everything, her people, her world, her family, yet something inside her refused to let go. Far away, a human warship cut through the wreckage, its black hull like a shadow against the stars. The crew scanned the battlefield with sharp eyes. "Another graveyard," one of them said, shaking his head. "No survivors." Just more silence. But then the faint signal reached them. A crew member leaned forward. "Captain, I think we've found someone." The ship slowed and the ruined pod came into view. The girl's weak face appeared on their screen. Her lips trembled as she tried to speak. The crew exchanged tense glances. Humans had no reason to help. Her species had once joined enemies against them. Yet still the captain gave the order. "Bring her in." The pod was pulled aboard, and the glass cracked open with a hiss. The girl stumbled out, falling to her knees. Her voice shook. Why would you save me?" She looked around at the humans, their faces hard, their eyes unreadable. One of them bent down, holding out water. "Because you were still alive," he said simply. She drank, her hands trembling. "But my people betrayed you. They killed yours, they hunted your colonies. You should let me die." The humans gave no answer. Their silence was colder than any blade. News of the rescue spread quickly. Across the galaxy, whispers filled every council. "The humans saved one," leaders said in disbelief. "Why only one? What are they planning?" Fear grew in alien hearts. Because everyone remembered the wars. Humanity had been quiet for years, rebuilding, watching. They had not spoken, had not marched. They had simply waited. And now they had chosen to save a single enemy child. To the galaxy, it was not an act of mercy. It was a message. The girl sat inside the human ship, restless, her heart racing. She could not understand their silence. She begged them, "Please, tell me why. Tell me what you want from me." A soldier finally spoke. His voice calm but heavy. "It is not what we want. It is what you will say." She froze, confused. "What do you mean?" she whispered. "I am just one." "I am nothing." The soldier's gaze pierced through her. "One is enough." Across the stars, human ships began broadcasting a signal. Every empire, every council, every world could see it. The image was simple. The rescued alien girl sitting in the center of a human chamber. Billions watched, waiting, wondering. Her voice echoed through the broadcast. "She will speak, and you will listen." The galaxy fell silent. The girl looked at the humans around her, her chest tight with fear. "What am I supposed to say?" she whispered. The captain's answer was soft but unyielding. The truth. Her lips trembled. She began to speak. Her voice carried pain and guilt. "My people. We joined the enemy. We destroyed worlds. We hunted the weak. We thought no one would judge us. We thought the galaxy was blind." Tears slid down her face as she choked on the words. "But I am guilty too. I followed them. I believed them. I did nothing." Billions of eyes stared at her. Some alien leaders shook with rage, others with fear. The humans said nothing. They only watched, letting her words fall like weapons sharper than blades. The girl broke down, her shoulders shaking. "Why me? Why let me live? Why not kill me like the others?" The captain finally answered. His words cut through the silence like thunder. "Because saving one is louder than killing millions." The galaxy trembled. The meaning was clear. Humanity did not need to conquer worlds with fire. They only needed one voice, one survivor, one truth to expose them all. When the broadcast ended, the humans did not lock her in chains. They did not take her life. They let her walk free. But now her face was known across the stars. Her confession could not be erased. Her words would follow her people forever. And the galaxy understood the human message. They saved just one, but they judged us all. The girl stood in the docking bay of the human ship, staring into the void of stars, her heart a storm of fear and hope. She whispered to herself, "One is enough." Behind her, the humans remained silent, their eyes calm, their presence heavier than any weapon. The galaxy would never see them the same again. The rescued alien girl sat quietly in the chamber of the human ship, her small hands twisted together as if holding on to something invisible. She had spoken once to the galaxy, and her words had cut through like fire. But now she wondered what would happen next. Every corner of the galaxy was talking about her. On distant worlds, leaders gathered in hidden rooms, voices shaking as they argued, "Why did the humans save her?" one demanded. "Why only one?" asked another. They did not trust the silence of humanity. It was too sharp, too heavy, too filled with hidden meaning on the human ship. She asked again and again, "Why me? Why let me live?" But the humans only gave her water, food, and quiet looks. Their silence scared her more than any weapon. She whispered to one soldier, "You do not understand. My people will come for me. They will silence me." The soldier only leaned closer and replied in a calm voice, "Then let them come. We are waiting." She froze, the words echoing in her mind. Was this their plan? To use her as bait? To draw her people into the open, far away? In the shining halls of alien councils, fear turned to panic. Leaders slammed their fists on tables. The humans are playing games. They want us to think they are merciful. But they are planning war. Others shook their heads, whispering, "No, they want us to destroy ourselves with guilt. They want to break us without firing a single shot." No one knew the truth. That mystery made them afraid, and fear spread faster than fire. The girl sat by the viewing glass, staring at the stars. "I should not be alive," she whispered. A human officer stood nearby, his voice firm but not cruel. "You are alive because you were meant to speak." She looked at him, eyes wide. "But my words will destroy my people." He did not look away, or save them. She shook her head, tears burning. "You don't understand. They will never forgive me. I am a traitor now." The officer's eyes were cold. "Sometimes traitors are the ones who begin truth." Across the galaxy, broadcasts replayed her confession. Children whispered her words at night. Soldiers asked if they had been fighting for monsters, and ordinary families stared at the screen in silence, wondering if their leaders had lied. Some worlds called her brave, others called her cursed, but no one could ignore her voice, and that was exactly what the humans wanted. One night, alarms blared on the human ship. A fleet of alien warships appeared. Surrounding them, the girl panicked. "They came for me! They will destroy us all!" The human captain remained calm. "Open a channel," he ordered. On the screen appeared a furious alien commander, his face twisted with rage. "Return the girl. She is guilty of treason. She belongs to us." The captain's eyes narrowed. "She already spoke. Her voice belongs to the galaxy now," the alien commander roared. "Then you have declared war." The humans gave no answer, only silence. The commander trembled, and his ships slowly pulled back. They dared not strike first. "Not against the humans." The girl sat shaking, her hands covering her face. "You don't understand. They will never stop hunting me. They will never stop hunting you." The captain finally spoke, his voice low and steady. "That is why we saved you, not to protect you, but to let them reveal themselves." She looked at him in shock. "So this was all part of your plan?" His gaze stayed firm. "We do not fight with weapons first. We fight with truth." In the days that followed, more alien leaders demanded answers. Some threatened war, others begged for peace. But the humans never explained. They left the galaxy to drown in its own questions. That silence was more dangerous than any weapon. Every world feared what would come next. Would the humans strike? Would they reveal more survivors? Or was saving one enough to break them all? The girl began to understand each time she looked into the human eyes. She saw no hate, only patience. They were waiting, not for her death, not for her betrayal, but for the galaxy to collapse under its own lies. And slowly, she realized the truth. By saving her, They had placed a mirror in front of the entire universe. One voice had become a storm. She stood before the humans, trembling but stronger than before. "You used me," she said, her voice shaking. The captain looked at her with calm eyes. "We gave you a choice," you spoke. "The rest belongs to them." She clenched her fists, her heart heavy. "Then let them hear more." The captain tilted his head, silent, but the faintest shadow of a smile touched his lips. The galaxy had begged for answers, but what they received was far more terrifying. They would be judged not by human weapons, but by their own truths spoken through one broken survivor. And so the questions began, spreading faster, darker, heavier. The humans had only saved one, but the galaxy feared it was already too late. The chamber of the human ship was no longer silent. Instead, it became the stage for something greater than war. The rescued alien girl sat in the center, her eyes darting nervously as cameras and lights surrounded her. The humans had set up a broadcast, one that reached across the galaxy. Billions of screens now flickered with her face. Some aliens gasped in shock, others shouted in anger. Leaders clenched their fists and soldiers stood frozen. The humans had chosen their battlefield, but it was not one of fire and steel. It was a court, and the galaxy itself was the audience. The girl whispered, her voice shaking. "Why are you doing this to me? I am no leader. I am no one." A human officer leaned forward, his voice calm but heavy. "That is why you matter. If even one voice can tell the truth, then no world can hide behind power or armies." She looked at him in fear. "But they will hate me. They will call me a traitor. They will kill me." The officer's eyes stayed cold. "And yet you will speak." Across the stars, the broadcast began. A deep voice spoke through the feed. "She will speak, and you will listen." No more words followed, no threats, no demands. Only silence as the girl appeared on every screen. Councils leaned forward, people stopped in the streets, and soldiers lowered their weapons just to hear. The galaxy had never seen humans act this way. It was more terrifying than war itself. The girl's lips trembled. She stared into the lens, her small body shaking. Her first words came weak. I was there." Billions leaned closer. "I saw what we did, my people. We joined the enemies. We burned villages. We hunted the weak. We said it was strength, but it was only fear." Her voice cracked. "We killed and we laughed, and we believed no one would stop us." Silence fell across entire planets. The humans stood around her, unmoving, giving her no comfort, only space. On one world, a leader slammed his fist on the table. "Lies, all lies. This is human manipulation." But even as he shouted, his own citizens stared at the screen with doubt. On another planet, children cried, hearing words that shattered the pride they had been taught. Families looked at each other in silence. The truth was spreading, not with fire, but with her voice. The girl tried to stop, tears blinding her. I cannot say more. They will kill me. They will kill everyone I ever knew." A human soldier stepped closer, his tone like steel. "Then say it now before silence kills more." She choked on her tears, but she continued. "We called it victory, but it was murder. We thought the galaxy was blind. We thought the humans were gone. We thought we would never be judged." Her words cut deeper than any weapon. In the councils of the galaxy, panic grew. Some demanded war, others begged to hide. But no one could deny what they had heard. Their crimes, once shadows, now stood in the light. Leaders who had believed themselves untouchable now saw their people whispering in the streets. Soldiers began to question orders. Merchants began to ask who they had truly served. Humanity had given the galaxy no commands. They had only given them a mirror. The girl finally collapsed to her knees, her body shaking with sobs. "I am guilty too. I believed them. I followed them. I stayed silent when they killed." The camera did not turn away. Every world saw her face. Every world saw her shame. The humans remained still, letting the truth echo louder than any sentence they could pass. At last, the captain of the human ship stepped forward, his voice calm, clear, and heavy with meaning. "We did not bring her to judge. We did not bring her to punish. We brought her so the galaxy may hear we saved one, and that is enough." His words fell like thunder. The broadcast ended, leaving only silence across billions of worlds. In the aftermath, chaos followed. Some worlds rioted, demanding justice from their leaders. Others turned against their own soldiers. Entire empires shook under the weight of a single voice. The humans had not fired a shot, but they had changed everything. The girl sat in the chamber, empty and broken, whispering, "What will happen to me now?" The captain looked at her, his gaze unshaken. "You will live, and in your living, the galaxy will remember." The humans escorted her from the chamber, letting her walk freely down the halls. Her steps were small, but every echo felt like thunder. She had no chains, no cage, no punishment. She had been set free, yet she was bound tighter than any prisoner. The galaxy had seen her face, heard her words, and no empire could erase her. As she stood once more before the viewing glass, staring into the endless stars, she understood the terrifying truth. Humanity had not needed to save an army. They had only needed her. By saving one, they had judged them all, and now nothing would ever be the same again. The chamber was cold and silent. Only the sound of her uneven breathing filled the air. The alien girl sat on the floor with her knees pulled close, her hands gripping her arms as if to keep herself from falling apart. She had spoken before, but now the humans told her there was more to say, more to confess. Her eyes darted to the human captain, his calm gaze never leaving her. "I already told them everything," she whispered. "Why must I speak again?" The captain's voice was low, steady, unshaken. "Because the galaxy still hides behind lies, and you have not yet told them what lies beneath." Fear gripped her chest. She shook her head violently. "If I say more, they will destroy me. My own people will burn me. Every empire will curse my name." A human officer leaned closer, his voice sharp as steel. "They already do. The difference is whether you die silent or speak, so they all hear the truth." She bit her lip until blood touched her tongue, her whole body trembling. Across the galaxy, billions waited. Screens flickered back to life. Families sat in silence. Soldiers stopped training. Leaders pressed closer to their councils. The humans had given no warnings, no words, only the image of her face once again filling the stars. The voice of the humans echoed cold and heavy. "She will speak again." The galaxy leaned forward. Some prayed she would stay silent. Others feared she would reveal too much, but no one looked away. She drew a shaking breath, her voice breaking. "My people did not fight alone. We joined others. We betrayed allies. We promised loyalty. But we gave only knives in the dark." Her tears spilled fast. "We fed enemies information. We traded lives for power. We called it survival, but it was greed." Her words fell like fire, burning across billions of minds. In one council chamber, leaders shifted uneasily, for they knew her words were true. In another, soldiers shouted, demanding answers from their commanders. Humanity's silence pressed heavier with every second. The girl clutched her chest. "I was there when the plans were made. I saw the maps. I saw the worlds we marked for destruction. I saw children crying when their homes burned. I told myself I was too small to stop it. I told myself I had no power. But silence makes me guilty too." She collapsed to her knees, sobbing into her hands, "I am guilty, I am guilty." The humans did not stop her. They let her words echo into every world. The captain stood like a statue, his arms behind his back, his eyes cold. A council leader shouted through the broadcast, "This is a lie, a trick. Humans staged this." They forced her to speak. But even as his voice thundered, his own people looked at him with doubt. A soldier whispered to another, "If it is all lies, why does it sound like our truth?" Families sat in silence, remembering the whispers they once ignored, remembering the fear they felt when orders came from above. The girl lifted her head, her face wet and swollen. "You hate me, I know you do. You want me dead, I know you do. But I will not be silent again." She pointed at the lens, as if pointing at every world. "You think humans are dangerous because they save one. But you are far more dangerous because you hide behind many. You hide your crimes in numbers. In councils, in armies, I hid behind them too. But not anymore." Gasps spread across the galaxy. Her words had pierced deeper than her first confession. She was not only exposing her own people, she was exposing the entire galaxy. Humanity had not told her what to say. She spoke with her own voice. Raw and broken, but sharp as any blade, the broadcast ended with silence. The humans cut the feed without warning, leaving billions in a storm of questions and fear. In one empire, riots erupted. Citizens demanded to know the truth from their rulers. In another, soldiers laid down their weapons, refusing to march without answers. Leaders screamed into the void, but their people no longer listened. One broken girl had shattered their walls. Back inside the chamber, she leaned against the wall, her voice hoarse. "It is done. Now I will die." The captain looked at her, his face unreadable. "You will live." She shook her head in disbelief. "They will kill me. They will hunt me forever," he replied. "Then let them hunt, because your words will chase them first." She stared at him with wide eyes, slowly realizing the terrible truth. By saving her, the humans had done more than rescue a single life. They had unleashed something unstoppable. Not armies, not fleets, but truth itself. Her voice had become their weapon. Her confession had become their war. She closed her eyes, her tears still falling. Her whisper filled the quiet chamber. One voice should not have this power. The captain finally looked away, his words like a hammer. One is enough. And somewhere in the galaxy, leaders sat in the dark, trembling at the thought of what would come next. The galaxy could no longer pretend to be blind. The girl's words echoed across billions of worlds, and every empire felt the weight of her confessions. Leaders sat in silent fear. Soldiers whispered in their barracks. Families at dinner tables stared at each other, asking questions they had once been too afraid to ask. Humanity had not moved a single fleet, yet the galaxy trembled as though war had already begun. On the human ship, the girl sat with her hands pressed to her face. "It is over now," she whispered. "They will kill me. They will kill anyone who dares to listen." The human captain stood near the viewing glass, his figure calm against the stars. "It is not over," he said, his voice steady. "This is only the beginning." She looked at him in shock. "What do you mean I gave them everything? What else is left?" The captain turned, his eyes sharp, judgment across the galaxy. Councils gathered in panic. In one great hall, leaders shouted, "We must strike now. Humanity must be destroyed before they control us all," another voice cried. "But they have not fired a single weapon. They only let a child speak. How do you destroy silence?" The arguments grew louder, but no answer came. Fear had already begun to eat them from within. The humans prepared their next broadcast. This time there was no warning, no introduction, only the captain's voice filling every corner of the galaxy. "We do not come with armies, we do not come with fire, we come with truth." His words struck harder than cannon fire. The screen shifted, showing the girl standing once more. Her face pale, but her eyes no longer hiding. She spoke with a trembling but steady voice. "I confessed my crimes. I confess the crimes of my people. But you all know this is not only about us. You all have blood on your hands. You all hide behind silence. You think no one sees, but they do. The humans do." Gasps spread through councils and homes alike. Her words were not only against her own, they were against every world. "You will all be judged," she said, "not by armies, not by fire, but by your own guilt." Her voice shook. "I was only one, but now the whole galaxy sees me. And through me, they see you. In one empire, soldiers dropped their weapons, refusing to fight for leaders who now stood accused. In another, riots filled the streets. Citizens shouted her words as chants, demanding justice, demanding truth. The galaxy burned not with war, but with fear. Humanity had created a judgment no fleet could fight. The girl collapsed after the broadcast. Her strength gone. "They hate me now," she whispered. "The whole galaxy curses my name." The captain knelt beside her, his voice like stone. "They curse you because they fear you. But their fear is not of you, it is of themselves." She shook her head. "I am nothing. I was no leader. I was only a survivor." The captain's gaze stayed firm. "Survivors are the ones who carry judgment. You are not their punishment. You are their reminder. In the halls of alien power, Leaders tried to gather armies, but their people refused. Some worlds demanded to join the humans. Others begged for forgiveness, and others still denied everything. But denial no longer mattered, because the galaxy had seen, the truth had already spread. It lived in whispers, in doubts. In the silence between words, humanity had done the impossible. They had turned one voice into a storm that no weapon could stop. The girl stood again before the viewing glass, her reflection staring back at her. "I cannot escape this," she said quietly. "Even if you protect me, even if I hide, they will always see me as the one who brought judgment." The captain's voice was calm. "That is why they cannot destroy you. If they kill you, your truth becomes eternal. If they let you live, your face will haunt them every day either way. Judgment is already written." She pressed her hands to the glass, staring at the endless stars. "So this is it. This is the war you wanted. A war of voices. Not weapons." The captain gave no answer. But the silence was enough. She understood now. Humanity did not fight for territory. They fought for memory, for truth. For the power to turn one survivor into a symbol the galaxy could never erase. The message was clear. The galaxy had demanded judgment, and humanity had given it not with destruction, but with something far worse. They had shown that truth could break empires faster than any fleet, and from that day forward, every world lived under the shadow of those words. "We saved one, and we judged you all." The girl sank into the silence of the chamber, her tears quiet but endless. She was no longer only herself. She was the voice of judgment. She was the weapon that never fired, and she knew deep inside, nothing in the galaxy would ever be the same again. The girl stood before the wide viewing glass, her small frame outlined against the endless stars. Behind her, the human crew moved with quiet precision. No words wasted, no noise to break the silence. She pressed her hands against the cold surface and whispered, "Why me? Why did you choose me?" The captain's reflection appeared beside her in the glass, his voice calm but sharp, because one voice can echo longer than 1,000 weapons. Across the galaxy, the storm of her confession still raged. Entire councils had collapsed under the weight of her words. Soldiers had abandoned their posts. Families turned against rulers. Old alliances broke apart, and new ones were formed in fear. Yet through all the chaos, one question haunted every world. Why had the humans saved only her, and what was their true message? The humans gave their answer in silence until the moment they were ready. When the next broadcast began, there was no warning, no introduction. Only the girl standing in the center of the chamber, her eyes red from tears but burning with a strange new strength. She raised her head and spoke to billions. "You all ask why they saved me. You all ask what they want, I will tell you." She paused, her voice trembling but steady. "They saved one so they could judge you all. And now the choice is not theirs, it is yours." Her words spread across stars like fire. On one world, merchants closed their stalls, staring at the sky in fear. On another, soldiers dropped to their knees, whispering her words like prayer. In councils, leaders shouted at each other, demanding to silence her, but her voice was already beyond their reach. Humanity had carried her face into every home, every city, every ship. She spoke again, her voice cutting through the silence. "You feared their armies, but their armies never came. You feared their weapons, but their weapons stayed hidden. What they gave you was worse. They gave you a mirror. And now you cannot look away." The captain's voice finally joined hers. Low and steady, "We did not need to destroy worlds. You destroy yourselves with your lies. We saved one, and through her, you showed us who you are." His words made the galaxy shiver. The message was clear. Humanity had no need to fire. Their weapon was truth. And truth spread faster than any fleet. The girl fell silent. But the galaxy did not. On one planet, people filled the streets chanting her name. On another, leaders locked themselves inside palaces, fearing their own citizens. Wars that had raged for generations stopped, not by treaty or victory, but by shame. Humanity had done the unthinkable. They had bent the galaxy without lifting a blade. She turned to the humans after the broadcast ended, her voice breaking. What will happen to me now? The captain looked at her, his face calm. You will live, she shook her head. They will hunt me. They will curse me. They will blame me for everything. The captain's gaze did not change. Yes, she flinched, and you do not care, he answered. It does not matter what they do to you. What matters is what they cannot undo. Tears welled in her eyes. So I am your weapon, I am your symbol. He shook his head slowly. No, you are their truth. That is something even we could not create. Her knees weakened and she whispered, One should not hold so much weight. The captain turned back to the stars, his final words quiet but heavier than war. One is enough, and so the message of humanity spread, not with fire, not with conquest, but with silence, mercy, and a single survivor. The galaxy understood now. The humans had saved one, but by doing so, they had judged them all. No empire could erase it. No leader could deny it. No army could fight it. For as long as the survivor lived, as long as her face was remembered, every world would carry the same fear. If humanity could change everything by saving one, what would they do if they chose to save more? The girl stood alone in the chamber, staring into the stars, her body shook with fear. But somewhere deep inside, she felt something else. Not only fear, but strength. For the first time, she knew she was not only a victim. She was a voice that the galaxy could never silence. And out in the cold darkness, every empire shivered. Humanity had spoken without war, without armies, without fire, and the universe would never forget it.